Have you ever wondered what happens if Vampirella's daughter, Lilith, steps into a chaotic world to save her falling mother? Wait, what? I thought Lilith was the mother and Vampirella was the daughter. Join me as I dive into a thrilling saga when Lilith's first adventure with the Reality Corp. Wait, what's the Reality Corp? Where she must confront the spawn of chaos to restore order. Join me, Triple B, in the Haunted Basement Studio to see what happens. Alright, man, we're doing Dark Reflections, Vampirella, issue number 1. And for this to make any sense, man, I had to read it like 6 times. And, you know, what it is pretty much a TVA from Loki. You guys watch the Loki series where there's multiple timelines? That's pretty much what this is. Or there's a ton of alternative realities, alternative Earths, which each Earth, each reality, there's a Vampirella there. And so we're going to follow Lilith, who apparently in this series is Vampirella's daughter. And we're going to find out that very fast because she's on her final mission to go ahead and graduate to become a member of the Reality Corp. And what is this? This is Vampirella's daughter going out and trying to save worlds where Vampirella has gone dormant. And so now on her final exam, she confronts the cult of chaos, who is performing a ritual and talking about being born again in some giant egg. And he looks at her and says, Vampirella, you died a long time ago. And she says, you must be thinking of my mom. And then he says, your mother died screaming. She says, well, let me return the favor. As they start fighting, she slams him into the giant blue egg. And we find out that the Vampirella that he did murder wasn't her mother. There are near infinite amounts of Vampirellas through this fabric of time. And comes to find out that her mother, her Vampirella mother, was one of the best ones in all of the threads, but she actually got killed by a cosmic force. And with that action, that set Lilith on her path, where she is learning to protect the various threads of the fabric from world-threatening disasters. Her name is Lilith, daughter of Vampirella, agent of the Reality Corp. Lilith now gets back to the Reality Corp, and there's a pretty cool scene right here where she's talking to some hot old lady that seems to be in charge. And she's telling Lilith that her color spectrum that she came from, her thread of fabric where she came from, didn't have color in it. It was like just black and white. But now that doesn't exist no more in the Reality Corp, she can become color, and that's why she's in color. And I thought that was just such a cool throwback to like when Vampirella was in black and white, and then now that she's in color. Pretty cool little Easter egg right there. Now, as old sexy lady is showing Lilith the threads and fabrics of time, there is a disturbance in the lower level in 9285. And Lilith asks if it is a chaos disturbance. And the old sexy lady looks at her and says, they are blocking all our attempts to doing an investigation. This is definitely from an unknown origin. And Lilith stands up all proud and sexy, saying, this looks like a job for the Reality Corp. All gun-ho, ready to go. So her mission is to find out what is blocking the Reality Corp's sensors and make sure that on this reality thread that Vampirella is everything is good and coherent. As she makes her way to her craft for her mission, she's passing other Reality Corp lookalikes that look just like Vampirella. As she makes it to her craft, this craft has an AI module in it, and it is going to be the memories of her fallen brother Adam, but it is just an AI that can drive this craft to where it needs to go. Where are we going? We're going to thread 9285. You got to remember that, they said. And so as they make their way to 9285, once they get into this world, like this alternate Earth, like it looks like all ruins, like something's wrong with this place. And like Lilith is getting worried, and so is the AI bot Adam, but now she calls him, Brat, because she wanted to change his name. As he injects her out of the craft and says, I will be back because it is too dangerous for you to be here. And her bat wings 18 feet come flying out, and she's flying through the air, and it's absolutely amazing. She's fighting off creatures left and right in the air, knocking them down, but there are too many of them, where she goes crashing down into this cathedral, and she said this is gonna hurt as she lands hard on the concrete floor. Next thing you know, she looks up and there's creatures all around, and she's trying to fight them off, but they get the upper hand on her. And then all of a sudden, this being shows up and grabs Lilith by her throat and holds her up and says, I am Vampirella, loyal subject of the Ten of Breeze. Long live the Queen. End of issue number 1. All right, man. What the bleep was that, dude? That was absolutely bat bleep crazy, dude. Like, it went by like really hard to understand what was going on, but what I figured out is that it is pretty much like multiple realities, multiple Vampirellas, infinite Vampirellas, pretty much. And then Vampirella had a baby, which named it after her mother, maybe. And now this Lilith is like trying to. They work in the Reality Corp, where like they have to like repair all these fabrics of time that make sure that Vampirella in that universe, or that Earth or whatnot, or that Draculon is like good and alive and taking care of business. Pretty much what it is. But in this disturbance at 9285 is something different. And we got Lilith on her first mission, probably going somewhere where she shouldn't go, and that's where this series most likely is going to be going, to unknown origins of like 9285. So I'm pretty interested in where this is going to go. I know as time this video comes out, issue 2 will already be out, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to read it before I do my full recap review on it. So if you like this review, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to continue this series, and they're usually just mini series, so maybe a 5 issues. So we're working like 5 months every issue. We'll be doing one. I got some of Sweetie Candy Vigilante that I'll leave in the link right there. And if you like Red Sonja, I got one right over there also. Thank you all for joining me, Brent Bromberg, in a haunted basement studio. Man, you guys keep it hardcore comics. Laters.